Welcome to 365 Christian Women, where we celebrate the strength, faith, and grace women live out every day. You'll hear real stories of real women who faced challenges, embraced hope, and learned to trust God through every season. These stories remind us that He's always at work, shaping hearts, building faith, and writing something beautiful through every woman's journey. In 1955, Rosa Parks took a stand by refusing to stand from her bus seat for a white man to take it. She credited God with giving her the strength to resist that injustice. Her arrest in Montgomery, Alabama led to a bus boycott, which lasted more than a year. Some people have called her the mother of civil rights movement. She was part of the brave efforts of many people to fight against the mistreatment of Black people in the United States. The civil rights movement culminated in a ruling by the Supreme Court, and landmark national legislation changed public segregation and outlawed racial discrimination in voting restrictions and housing. 39 years after this famous bus incident, Rosa still depended on God to protect her. One evening, a loud noise downstairs startled her. Never one to shrink back from a threat, she would look into it herself, even at the age of 81. She descended to the first floor of her home in Detroit, Michigan's West Side. There stood a young Black man, and her back door had been knocked down. He had chased away a burglar, he said. Could she spare a few dollars since he had helped her? Well, he certainly deserved that, but Rosa would need to get money from upstairs. When he followed her up the steps, she felt none too comfortable. What did he really want? She held out $3 for him, but now he demanded all of her money. So much for the helpful young man. "Do you know who I am?" Rosa asked. He would not threaten someone who had worked so hard and long for civil rights, would he? Yes, he knew her name. His anger heated his words. If she didn't give him more money, he would beat her. Rosa had lived with her grandparents for part of her life. The family read the Bible and prayed regularly, and Rosa had learned that God loved and valued her. The KKK visits to their neighborhood taught her that some people did not love or value her or any other Black person, and long before that, her grandfather had been severely mistreated as a slave. His resolute belief in defending himself — he kept a double-barreled shotgun by his side — he had taught her that self-defense was justified and necessary. For her, prayer and faith were essential in her life as well. Now facing this dangerous man in her own home, Rosa would not simply give in. When he struck her, she grabbed his shirt. He punched her face and shook her. God gave her strength as she fought for her life, screaming and hitting back. She had never experienced an attack like this. This man would do worse, he said, if she didn't hand over all of her money. She was sure he meant every word, so she gathered the money she had in her home and gave him her last $103. Finally, he left. With God's help, she had survived, though beaten and trembling. Rosa phoned a neighbor who came to help and called the police. Others soon learned of the attack and captured the man, Joseph Skipper. Infuriated by what he had done to Rosa, her friends beat him soundly before turning him over to the authorities. But Rosa forgave Joseph and asked others not to harm him, even during his prison sentence. At the time, many people felt young Black men no longer had morals. But no, Rosa believed their unruly acts resulted from the desperate conditions in which they lived and the injustices that they had experienced. If they had better education and opportunities, they would grow into better men. In 1990, she said, "I would like to be known as a person who is concerned about freedom and equality and justice and prosperity for all people." She wanted a good life to be available to everyone. Psalms 18:39, "For thou hast girded me with strength unto the battle. Thou hast subdued under me those that rose up against me." Hi, I'm Letitia, and we just heard a powerful story from the life of Rosa Parks. Rosa had learned early on that God gave her strength to do the hard things. Looking back on your life's battles, can you recognize the times that God has strengthened you? Whether it is physical, emotional, or spiritual, God gives us the strength to endure hard things. He gave Rosa strength to not only forgive her attacker, but to have empathy for his situation. Ephesians 6:10 says, "Finally be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might." As we trust and rely on God, he gives us the strength to do the hard things. Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." Did you hear that little word? All. It includes everything without exception. Father, I ask that you would give us strength to do all the hard things that you ask of us. Thank you for strengthening me today.